Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I'm going to be talking about Blue Blood Sports, and a video came out with talking about ESPN and Fox News disrespecting Floyd Mayweather and downplaying his success. This was because Fox News had a segment on Manny Pacquiao's retirement and just celebrating Manny Pacquiao's kind of achievements and becoming president and whatnot. He failed to mention that Shannon Sharpe was also on the show and gave his part and defended Floyd and gave his opinion on all of Floyd's achievements, which is why you know that who is it? Blue Blood Sports is a very delicate man or person, because he was mad that Skip had something to say. You have to acknowledge that Shannon Sharpe also defended him and had to say something as well. I mean, come on, man. What the hell? It makes you sound like a crybaby, which you are for making that video. They both have their pros and cons, man. They're both amazing in their own way. Both Floyd and Manny. Their fight kind of sucked. For both reasons on both sides. All right. Floyd didn't. Manny, you had the whole arm injury, which sucked, because if it was true, then why the hell did he go into the fight? The cash grab on his part. He's like, I'm gonna get this money as long as it's here, and screw the fans. Floyd, we later found out that he took intravenous injections. We already know that Floyd has his advantages by fighting in the same city, which is Las Vegas. He picks usually he picks his own judges. I don't know if judges for sure, but I know he picks his own referees. I know there's been speculation about him having his own judges. And this is Las Vegas. It's sports. It's prize fighting. You know that there is going to be some type of intervention or fraud going around. There always has been in boxing, so you know that that there's something going on with this caliber type of fight. Immediately, Blue Blood Sports, first things out of his mouth is Manny has 3 losses. Comments on Manny's career, and goes on to say that he came out of the mud and was homeless and had to resort to weird ways of getting food. I don't know. That was weird. That was a little weird. He then went on to say that Floyd they misdirected Floyd's fans, and he was pretty upset about them misdirecting Floyd's fans and casual fans. He said there's a big platform and they could be misdirecting the fans. Wow. Shit. I guess I'm doing that too. On both sides. But he's also doing that if he's defending only one side. He's misdirecting fans, because if you're defending each side, I think both sides were kind of, neither of them were out of their compete prime, right? I think both of them should stop saying that. I think that Floyd ran around the whole damn fight, hugged and clinched, and there was the whole speculation with the arm thing, right, on Manny's side. And anyways, he then went on to say that that Manny declined, was kind of ducking Floyd, and that he mentions Marquez, that Manny struggled with Marquez, and so Floyd went on to fight the guy that Manny struggled with, and that basically you could argue or make a case that Marquez won all of the fights. If you're going to make a case or debate, then everything's debatable. Then the Maidana fight was won by Maidana, the first one, and the second one definitely won by Floyd. But if we're going to make a case, then both sides get to make a case. You have to understand that, dude. You can't just say, oh, it's just double standard and I get to say whatever I want. He then went on to mention how Manny required Olympic style testing, and he was acting funny about that, and that's why the fight took so long, and that he went on to fight Ortiz, which was, in my opinion, a fake fight. That was really funny, where the guy butts him, then he drops his hands, gets hit, and then falls to the floor like a sack of potatoes. Then goes and tries to kiss him. Right? He goes in to try to kiss, and then he goes up to Floyd's dad, and it's like he was thanking them for the fight, which, hell yeah, he's thanking them for the fight. Cash grab, dude. It made it look like, hey, look, let's do this is the biggest fight of your career. You fight me. Let's not put a lot of miles on our body. Bang each other up. You get your money. Just throw a little. Just butt me. It all seems staged, man. But who's getting screwed? The fans. That's who's getting screwed. All of these people paying for pay-per-view, their normal jobs, and then you have that circus act. That was not real in any way, man. I mean, if you think that's a real fight, then you're a freaking idiot. Then he fought Guerrero. Guerrero was so slow, man. I mean, who else did Guerrero fight that's a top-tier contender, man? I mean, a lot of Floyd, and this is a lot of other fighters as well. Guerrero, Floyd could have fought any other fighter besides Guerrero, but this is where I go back to, I'll get a lot out of the subject, but they don't fight competition. And Blue Blood Sports, if you're listening, they all do that. Now we're reporting on boxing, but boxing is fixed. Even like, how can you even count 50-0 when you're fighting fighters that aren't your immediate competition, or should be? If there's like 1 to 5 that are the top 5 fighters, that's who everybody. If you're a champion, that's who you should be fighting. No one else below at least 1, 2, and 3. Right? You should be the top 3, 4 fighters that you're eliminating, and you should fight the next top fighter. So he's not fighting the likes of like the Sean Porters of the world. I don't know how old Sean Porter was at that time, or if he was one of the top guys, or not even the likes of Danny Garcia or Thurman, or even what's that fast guy? What's his name? I forget his name right now. But anyways, he could have fought a lot of other good fighters. He then went on to say that that Floyd just dominated the fight when they finally fought, which I disliked was on Floyd's part, where I already knew there was going to be very low engagement because of Floyd's style of fighting. But you thought, or you would think, that because of the stage of the fight, that the importance of that caliber of fight, it would be he would interact a little bit more. But the holding, the clinching, the running, it really took away a lot of minutes from the fight. So he got his pot shots off, and he did his thing. Floyd, he went in there, timed Manny, and clipped him with really soft punches, and then went away. And then he had his moments, which both of them are going to have, because they're the top fighters in their division. I mean, they're both huge. But that really took away a lot from the fight. The fact that he ran around, I felt that he really stole a lot from the fighter. Manny was doing his job and coming forward, and adding the pressure. And Floyd's going to do his pot shots and get his points off, which is natural. They're both going to get their moment, but the running and the clinching was horrible. The commentators weren't talking about it. They weren't saying, "Hey man, why is Floyd running?" It's like first, second, third round, he's up against the ring. He's holding. He's like grabbing him like this, and then he walks with him. I counted 12, 13 seconds, and the 13 seconds did not include when they separated them and they made them say, go ahead and fight again. So it could be up to 16 seconds, 16, 20, who knows how long each one. Because I saw a video where it was, I need to watch the whole fights, but It's been a while since I watched them, and that was pretty horrible. How they weren't strict on that, and that was a high caliber fight. Any other one, somebody does that, I mean, they get points taken away, they get kind of reprimanded, they bring it to their attention, hey, stop running, stop holding. He did it throughout the whole fight. I counted like 15, 16 times, and this was just some random person's video. And 15 times, and each hold was at least a minimum of starting at 12 seconds was an average, 10 to 12 seconds. And this does not include when they allowed them to go. So these are little cheats because it allows you to rest at least 20 seconds. And then he's running, and then you don't that's not to count into effect the running time when he just goes like that and walks around the ring, and then he goes and does his pot shots and then runs around again. So with all that being said, if you count the fight time, interaction where both people are like hitting each other or ducking and dodging, then there's clinching, and then there's running, so you could be really looking at a 6-round fight, and that's nothing to brag about if you're a fighter. If you're celebrating the fact that Floyd made a lot of money, then he is TBE of money making, but the inactivity and ducking and all of that, that probably started as far back as Oscar De La Hoya, I believe. Oscar De La Hoya started that, and then Floyd copied Oscar De La Hoya, and now you have other fighters that are copying that style. But Floyd's the one that walked away with the zero, but he also walked away with a zero with. It's not 50-0. He has undefeated record, but it's not 50 because a lot of the other fights that they're so low tier fighters that they should count as sparring. They shouldn't count as a professional fight, because a professional fight should be with the top 5 fighters in the division, and not whoever you choose to fight with. You can't just choose someone that's not qualified and then it goes on your win record. So if I had to say today, without doing any research, I would say Floyd's 40-0 at least. He has to be at least 40-0. Yeah, that's it. That wraps it up for this time. And hope you like and subscribe, or dislike and don't subscribe. Later, man.